Some still wonder if the Nikon Z6 Mark III is real, but thanks to a leaked image from Nikon Rumors, this one here, we can plainly see it's the Z6 Mark III. What I like about this particular leaked image is that it's not one of those blurry, low-resolution images. It's clearly, well, detailed, and if you recall back to the Nikon Z8, we got leaked image after leaked image that was just a joke, that was faked, and it was absolutely terrible. The specifications leading up to the Nikon Z8 were accurate, but the images, well, they were pretty bad, and that's what I'm kind of wondering here. But the one interesting thing about getting a leaked image, whether it's fake or real, is it tells us that the rumor situation, the news situation, is really starting to heat up, that we can expect the Nikon Z6 Mark III to come, well, rather soon. And if we take a look at the latest leaked specifications for the camera, we can see going back to, I think it was January or December of last year, there was predictions that we would see the Nikon Z6 Mark III sometime between January and April. And if I do the math correctly, January's gone, so is February, and March, well, here we are on the 31st, and it's pretty well done for because today is, well, Easter Sunday. So we can expect to see most likely the Nikon Z6 Mark III coming in the next couple of weeks, sometime in April. So let's take a brief look at the latest leaked specifications for the Nikon Z6 Mark III, or as it was registered as N2214. And we do have multiple leaked specs floating around for the Nikon Z6 Mark III. We've got specs from a Weibo account, E8M8888, that came just a couple of days ago. And then we have the reliable and trusted source, Nikon Rumors. As Nikon Rumors has a better track record and they're coming from multiple known sources, let's have a look at the latest leaked specifications provided to us by Nikon Rumors. The sensor for the Nikon Z6 Mark III, 24.5 backside illuminated full frame sensor. Other specifications are calling for 26 megapixels, so 24, well, it's not bad. It's not great. It'd be nice to see it a little bit closer to 30 megapixels, but like the Nikon Z8 and Z9, the Nikon Z6 Mark III will have more than enough horsepower to be able to do 20 frames per second lossless RAW at 14-bit and up to 120 frames per second at a reduced resolution, like Nikon does with the Z8 at 11 megapixels. The Z6 Mark III will have both a mechanical and electronic shutter with a maximum shutter speed of 1/16,000th of a second. And what I'm predicting here is we're going to get up to 1/8,000th of a second in mechanical and 1/16,000th of a second in electronic. Sony did a terrific job in the A7R5 with their implementation of pixel shift. Hopefully Nikon will be able to take into account moving subjects and objects as well as Sony does with the A7R5. And now for the video specifications. The highest resolution and frame rate on the Nikon Z6 Mark III will be 6K up to 60 frames per second, and that's RAW, Nikon RAW, and that's pretty impressive. So all the basic frame rates of 24, 25, and 30, as well as 50 and 60 frames per second. Now in 4K, the camera will be able to do up to 120 frames per second. That's pretty impressive. But in 4K, 24, 25, 30, 50, and 60 frames per second, we will have access to Apple ProRes RAW, giving us some pretty solid video specifications. Now, again, with these leaked specifications, we're missing out a whole lot of details. Where do we get those oversampled rates? Where does RAW kick in and where do we not have access to RAW? What about all-I or IPB? And what type of codecs are going to be implemented in this camera? These are things we would like to know. But otherwise, the video specifications on this camera look like they're, well, really top shelf. Now, of course, the Nikon Z8 and Z9 can do 8K because of their larger sensor, but I don't feel like the Nikon Z6 Mark III is getting, a bad set of video specifications. Another improvement with the Nikon Z6 Mark III over the Z8 and the Z9 is the EVF. The Z6 Mark III gets a 5.76 million EVF, much higher than the 3.76 million EVF found in the Z8 and the Z9. And of course, as it gets an improved EVF, it also gets an improved LCD, although we're not presented with any specifications, just to, well, trust the leaks that it's going to be improved. And if the EVF is improved, I wouldn't be surprised if the LCD is ready to go on to the next generation. Now the autofocus system has been improved. It talks about 299 autofocus points, and it also talks about image stabilization. Now we refer to that as IBIS, but on the Nikon system it's referred to as VR, and it's going to have 8 stops. So I don't see a dramatic improvement. Whenever we're dealing with full frame sensors, you've got a lot more weight and size, so you're not going to get the same sort of effects. If you're looking for anything like you see on a GH5 or GH6, no, those are much smaller sensors, and it seems like they're able to produce miracles because of, well, the size and the weight. While we were provided with one supposed leaked image of the Nikon Z6 Mark III, the leaked specifications give us an indication of what the Nikon Z6 Mark III is going to look like in terms of, well, its relationship to the Nikon Z6 Mark II, the predecessor, and the Nikon Z8, a camera next up on the shelf. One thing I gathered from reading over all the different rumors and specifications from Nikon Rumors and E8M 8888 is you want to think of it this way. Think of the Nikon Z6 Mark III as a child of a Z6 Mark II and a Z8. It's not going to be as big as the Z8, but it's definitely going to be bigger and heavier than the Z6 Mark II, and it's going to have that what's that? Oh, I keep forgetting the name of that dial. It's the PSAM dial, and of course we're going to have CF Express Type B and a UHS 2 card slot. It would be really nice to have dual CF Express Type B cards, wouldn't it? I love those CF Express Type B cards. I mean, the price of them now is getting so cheap. You can buy a 1 terabyte for around $200, $300 on sale from leading manufacturers, and 2 terabytes can cost up to $500. In some cases, we're getting much better prices on the Type B cards than we are on UHS 2 cards. Pretty impressive, isn't it? But what do you think? Do you think this photo is legitimate? Do you think it's real? Do you think these are actually the leaked specifications of the Nikon Z6 Mark III? One feeling I got about the Z6 Mark III based on the specifications is it feels like a mini Nikon Z8. Now, not the same way that the Nikon Z8 basically replicates all the same capabilities and enhancements as the Nikon Z9, although the Z9 is all about the best of the best, the highest performance buffer and all that sort of stuff. But for most people, the Nikon Z8 is a great deal. While the Z6 Mark III doesn't have 8K and it doesn't do 45 megapixels, at 24.5 or 26 megapixels, if these specifications are correct, I think it's going to be an incredible camera. And if it's going to be priced around $2,000 like its predecessor, it's going to be a great deal. But the one thing you really want to take into account right now, if you have been waiting for the Nikon Z6 Mark III, is 2 incredible sales that are going on right now. Let's take a look at the Nikon Z6 Mark II as our first camera. You can see right here that it's $400 off. That's a really good price. And that even comes with a camera bag and a 128 gigabyte UHS 2 SD card. The Nikon Z7 Mark II, it's got an even better deal, $700 off, $2296.95, the best deal that I've ever seen, and this ends tonight. It doesn't mean they're not going to start another deal tomorrow, but if you're thinking about either of these 2 cameras, you really want to consider the Z7 Mark II and the Z6 Mark II. And like the Z6 Mark II, it throws in an SD card and a camera bag. And if you are interested in purchasing either of these 2 cameras or other lenses and accessories, because there are an awful lot of deals on right now, then consider using my affiliate links for Amazon.com, B&H, and Adorama. These ones right here, they really do help my channel grow. A bit of disclosure though, I do get anywhere from 2 to 12% back, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. You don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to click on any special buttons. Just use these links down below, and it really does help this channel grow. A big thanks to all of you that have used my affiliate links in the past. It really does make a big difference, and it's one of the reasons why this channel is where it is today. And I'm doing a video here on Easter Sunday before our big Easter lunch. Thank you so much to all of you for supporting this channel, for liking, subscribing, most importantly for using my affiliate links. I really do appreciate the community that it's brought alive here. Thank you, Harry, Kathy, Sally, Steve, Tim, everybody who's been watching and continues to watch, as well as you, John, for commenting on every single video, whether I put it out in the morning or the evening or late at night. I don't know, do you actually get any sleep, or are you a bot? Because I'm just impressed with how you're always there commenting and liking, so thank you so much. And a big thanks to all of you. It's Easter Sunday here, so I'm not going to rant and ramble on like I have in previous videos, but there's a lot coming out. I've got 3 or 4 videos already uploaded, ready to come out over the next couple of days. So hopefully we have more good news coming out on the Nikon Z6 Mark III. I'm getting a sense that things are starting to heat up. I really do get a sense that it's coming. If not in April, it's going to be May. The only question I have for you is, what are we going to see first, the Nikon Z6 Mark III or the Canon EOS R5 Mark II? Both cameras are due out relatively soon, but I'm hearing an awful lot more on the Nikon Z6 Mark III than I am on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, choose all notifications, and follow me on X. But that's it for now. Enjoy your Easter weekend, and we'll see you again soon.